If you have ever picked up a small camera and wondered how far you can really push it, this conversation is for you. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 carries more depth than its size suggests. Beyond the obvious features, there are small options and behaviors that only start to make sense once you use them out in the real world. Today, we want to share 10 of those details with you, which can help you shoot smarter and avoid common frustrations along the way. So let us get started. The first thing we want to talk about is audio, and specifically the internal microphone recording. On the Pocket 3, you have the option to always record audio from the built-in microphones, even when you connect a DJI Mic 2 or Mic Mini. To enable this, you go into the audio settings and turn on internal mic recording as a backup. Once this is active, the camera records 2 audio sources at the same time. In real use, this matters more than people expect. Let us say you are using a DJI Mic 2 with a lapel and you are standing far from the camera. Everything sounds clean. If that wireless signal drops or the mic battery dies, the Pocket 3 still captures audio from its own microphones. That track sounds different, and there is more environmental noise, but it remains usable. The other benefit is creative. Since the internal mics record in stereo, you can mix that ambient sound underneath your main audio in post. This gives your video a sense of place, which helps your audience feel present in the scene. Once you pair a DJI Mic 2 or Mic Mini, there is another feature that feels small but changes how you shoot. You can start and stop recording by pressing the link button on the mic. To use this, you simply pair the mic normally, then test the link button once the camera is ready. One press starts recording, another press stops it. This is useful when you place the camera on a tripod, on a shelf, or anywhere out of reach. It also helps when you move through a scene and do not want to pull out your phone to open the Mimo app. Over a full day of shooting, this saves storage and keeps your clips intentional. Now let us move into motion, because this is where the Pocket line usually feels strongest. Most people know ActiveTrack, but fewer people explore dynamic framing. To use it, you tap the tracking icon on screen, then enable dynamic framing. You will see adjustable boxes that you can move with the joystick. Instead of tracking the subject in the center, you can place the tracking area off to one side. This allows you to leave space in front of the subject, which suggests movement and direction. This works well when you walk forward and want the frame to feel like it leads somewhere. The key thing to understand is intent. If the subject suddenly changes direction, the framing can feel off. So we suggest using this mode when the movement feels predictable. While ActiveTrack adds value, contrast matters. Some shots benefit from staying locked. The Pocket 3 makes this easier with a simple trick. If you press and hold the record button, the camera cancels the clip instead of saving it. This means if something goes wrong mid-take, that clip never appears on your card. Over time, this keeps your footage cleaner and reduces time spent sorting through mistakes. There is one more audio-related feature that deserves attention. When you use a DJI Mic 2, you can enable audio to video sync. This tells the mic to record internally while also sending audio to the camera. To enable this, you go into the mic settings and turn on internal recording with sync. This shines in unpredictable environments. Since the Mic 2 supports 32-bit float recording, you do not worry about clipping in loud scenes or weak levels in quiet moments. Even if the wireless signal drops, the internal recording stays intact. Later, you can sync that audio in post. For solo creators, this reduces stress during filming. Focus behavior often separates casual footage from polished footage. Single focus mode allows you to lock focus on a subject or background. To use it, switch the focus mode to single focus. then tap the subject you want in focus. Once locked, the camera does not refocus, even if objects pass close to the lens. This is useful for shots with foreground movement, such as walking past branches or railings. It keeps the subject stable and avoids distracting focus shifts. It also works well when you want a more cinematic feel, even with a small sensor. The Pocket 3 behaves differently depending on the color profile you choose. In normal color mode, the camera prioritizes faces for exposure. When a face enters the frame, the camera adjusts exposure to protect skin tones. This can cause bright backgrounds to blow out. If you switch to D-Log-M, the exposure logic changes. You get more dynamic range and more control in post. To use D-Log-M, you select it in the Color Profile menu. We often leave exposure mostly automatic but set limits. This approach balances speed and control. In post, applying a basic LUT brings the image close to where you want it. Then small adjustments finish the job. A newer firmware feature is medium telephoto mode. To enable it, you switch to normal color profile, then select medium telephoto in the field of view options. This gives you a tighter framing that feels closer to a 40mm equivalent. There are limits. You cannot use ActiveTrack or D-Log-M in this mode. Still, image quality holds up better than digital zoom. This mode works when you want a closer shot without stepping forward, especially in controlled lighting. Gimbal behavior changes how motion feels. FPV mode locks the gimbal orientation relative to the camera body. To use it, switch the gimbal mode to FPV in settings. In a car, this keeps the horizon level during turns. This works well for driving shots or mounted views. Instead of the horizon tilting, the shot feels stable and intentional. It also hints at how flexible the Pocket 3 could be on other moving platforms. Finally, there is Timecode. You can enable Timecode in the settings when you plan to sync with other cameras. This helps during post-production, especially in multi-camera workflows. It is not something everyone uses daily, but its presence shows the Pocket 3 aims to fit into larger setups. So with all the features, the Pocket 3 feels less like a simple pocket camera and more like a compact system. If you take time to understand these tools, the camera starts to feel like a quiet partner rather than a device you fight against. That was all. Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you found it helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more videos.